Focusing on our eating and changing our routine and working out has really helped us also in the business.
I think that starting to eat better and then being more physically active instead of going home and just laying on the couch or just not doing anything for ourselves. I feel like we needed to find something that will help us kind of unwind and kind of like just shift our mindset away from all the stuff that goes on to the business and all the stressors. Yeah, definitely what we've been eating would affect that, like on our energy levels. So you eat a bunch of sugar, then you crash, and then you want more sugar, and then you just kind of start getting into this roller coaster of like energy and low energy.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the BD Podcast. My name is Barbara Delgado, and I'm your host. And today I have my business partner and husband, and we're going to talk about health, business, and style.
Hello, everyone. We'll see how this goes.
I will tell you guys, Gio does not like to be on camera, so or really, like, talk in person. I mean, in public.
Yeah, I mean, for those that know me, know that I'm more of an introvert, reserved. And,
Private person.
Private person, so I don't necessarily enjoy being on camera or putting myself out there on like social media and stuff. But I think that for this episode, we have some really kind of cool questions and cool conversation that we can bring value and, you know, make it interesting. So I feel like, why not give it a shot? And as they say, step out of your comfort zone.
Yay. Awesome. Yes. I'm really excited because I feel like, as y'all know, our podcast is dedicated to talk about business and style and health, which are some of the things that you and I are really passionate about. So it's cool that we get to kind of talk about it and maybe even, you know, learn a little bit about each other in the process.
Yeah, well, we definitely, ever since we started this journey of like being in business together, it has definitely been a learning process and more of a journey in which we learn every day. But
which we learn and grow and learn. No, in all reality, for those of you guys who work with your spouse, I guess you guys know how difficult it is. Ju and I have been working together for about 3 years.
Well, almost 4 years.
Almost 4 years.
Since COVID, really,
Since
when we
COVID.
really started getting more involved in the business and taking some roles.
Yeah, exactly. And we have had challenges along that way. And honestly, it's not easy working together. But I feel like not only do we complement each other in a lot of areas, I think that your strengths are definitely some of my weaknesses and vice versa.
And vice versa, for sure.
And so, and we've learned the hard way, right? I feel like in our people, what do we, not our people. Our team, there we go. Our team can attest to the evolution of us working together.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they've seen the good and the bad and the ugly at some point or another.
But it has been an awesome experience, and I appreciate and respect you greatly and everything that you bring to the business.
Yeah, and likewise, I think that we definitely complement each other in the way that we approach projects, business on a daily basis, which sometimes causes friction, but also I think that we've learned how to move past it, talk about it, or like kind of deal with it and then move on.
Yeah, I
and
guess.
Not let it linger and just kind of be this cloud of like sometimes like what can become resentment, or it can become something that just kind of boils and boils until it
it bursts.
Yeah, and then we've learned to kind of just kind of deal with the things as they happen, and you know what, let's talk about it.
Communication. We've learned to communicate, I think, very well. And so sometimes, a lot of times, we used to, honestly, it was like a very hostile environment, I think, at the beginning. Yeah. Especially for me, it was really hard for you to come on, and then, like, when I had been doing it, like, no questions asked, no opinions, and then all of a sudden, all the opinions.
Yeah, I don't mind saying what I think.
Anyway, I really do think that we're working together in a much better way. And I think that what has helped us is the communicating and being able to hear each other out. So props to us. I'm going to high five.
There you go.
I am a high fiver. Gio hates it. I'm also a thumbs upper, and he also hates that.
I don't hate it. I just don't. I'm not as, what's it called?
Cheery?
No. Well, yes, no. And also, I don't offer high fives that often.
That often. I do. I do it every day. Every single day, I have to give a high five to somebody and wave to the neighbors, which you've started doing recently. But anyway, that's a little bit about us working together and how we make it work, right? The good and the bad, yes. Sometimes we want to choke each other. But at the end of the day, if that does happen, we tend to kind of go home, talk about it.
Yeah, I don't think that we don't go to bed, we don't go to sleep until we deal with it.
Yeah.
I feel like that has been like kind of like the theme that we end up doing.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll just hold on to it for a few hours.
Yes.
And then we talk about it. It's like, all right.
Let's get it out.
This happened today. We need to talk about it.
Exactly. Which is awesome. And I think it has been helping us, the fact that we've kind of dove into this health journey, right? Mind, physical, and
spiritual at some point.
Yeah, no, really. I think it has helped. I think we have definitely been approaching some hard times and also realizing the importance of work-life balance, right? Like I feel like especially because we work together and we own a business together, and business owners, we know that it occupies 24/7 your mind. Even if you're not working, you're still thinking about it. And so some of the things that we have kind of approached in our health journey is the working out, right?
Yeah,
like
picking up habits. And
we read the book
Atomic Habits. Forget the author.
But such a great book. I recommend it. Atomic Habits. Atomic Habits is such a great book, and I think it helped us to create better habits for ourselves and really implement that kind of
routines, I guess, into our daily lives.
Yeah.
I think that for a while, like we both gained a bunch of weight.
Yes.
Healthily so.
Yes.
And for a long time. And and it was when we didn't have that balance, and we were just stress eat emotionally, and we weren't communicating with each other.
Yeah, there was a really rough patch. I think at the beginning, we both got into this very unhealthy habit, and really just not being able to cope with our stress, which I think a lot of business owners suffer through. Yeah. Just everyday life stress, and how do they handle it? Is a lot of us tend to stress eat, or kind of just like I think we got into this routine where we would go home from work and just like lay on the couch and watch TV and eat, order food and ice cream cake and Chinese food. Wow, that's terrible. Food, yeah. But in this, once we started our healthy lifestyle, I guess you could say, we've found some things that help us. We got a sauna a couple of years back.
A couple of years back, we were really diving into the whole health trends, and one of the things that we both really enjoyed when we had it available was going into saunas and just kind of like sweating it out.
Yeah.
And then we found a local place that had like you could kind of rent the sauna or like go and just go for the sauna for
30 minutes.
30 minutes or so.
Right. They would charge us like.
And then we're like, why don't we just get this? What it would cost? Where would we put it? And I think you found it, and then we ended up getting one. And so it's become part of what we do on a weekly basis, 2 to 3 times a week. We jump in there, and then we get in there for like 30 minutes, and then I don't know, jump in the pool or something.
Yeah, Sunlit Saunas. We are sponsored by. No, I'm just kidding. We're not sponsored by Sunlit Saunas, but maybe in the future we can be. And then one of the things I did, and I think it's helped you as well, was I worked with One Shot, which is a local business that helps you kind of transition into healthy eating and teaches you better ways to eat. And I think I think it's important that we're both on the same page, because the minute that one of us goes off balance, it's really easy for the other one to kind of also.
Yeah, because we tend to eat the same thing.
Yes.
So we, whatever we buy for the house, we buy for both of us. So,
Yeah.
By association, I started also
Yes.
Being affected by
By the healthy
by
eating.
the healthy choices. And,
Yes.
being more mindful as to what we eat, and then we really started being very consistent about meal prepping.
Meal
I think
prepping.
that for now for about a year.
About a year we've been
We-
meal prepping and
We
eating at the
always
studio.
We eat at the studio. We cook. We hardly eat out unless it's like a special occasion. So we just kind of make food for a few days, and then we we end up eating the same thing over and over.
But it works.
But it works.
And I will tell you that I feel like it's also affected our team in a way that we've created a culture for healthier eating, because before we would bring tacos, we would bring food and order pizza, and now I feel like we're on this trend where we're all eating healthier. And recently, coming up with that, how you say that like your choices affect me and my choices affect you. If you guys haven't heard of the app Yuka, it's free. We're not sponsored by it or anything, but I'm obsessed with it.
Anything at this point.
We want sponsors. But I want to bring something up because you brought this into the house
Well,
last
we had
week.
kids at the house.
I'm going to show you guys. Can I do
So-
this on? You all can't see, but he brought this.
Okay, we're definitely not gonna get sponsored by these people.
This, which are supposed to be really relatively healthy stuff. But as you can see with this Yuka app, I'm going to do it real quick. It's not going to take long because this is how fast it is. I do this at H-E-B and Sprouts all the time. But I will scan this item with the app, and it gives you a score. And then it tells you, like, it has 7 additives, and 2 of them are hazardous. And if you click on here, it really describes like what it actually does to you. And like for this BHT, we can blur it out. BHT is a food preservative that a lot of foods use. And this, as you can see here, it's an endocrine disruptor, and it affects the thyroid and sex hormones. So like, that's insane. For this that you brought into the house, I'll tell you what this, which...
Okay. You really want to go there?
Yes.
Miss, when I was getting this stuff at HEB, you were walking around eating a cake.
Okay. That day I had really bad cravings for cake, and I don't do that often.
And then you gather a crowd of old ladies telling you and supporting you and how
delicious the cake was. Okay. Anyway, this one that I scanned has 7 hazardous additives, and one of them, it says here, damages your kidneys, has a risk of cardiovascular disease and breast cancer. So I feel like I love this app. It's one of the trends that we're on, is trying to eliminate additives. And I feel like if you guys are on the same boat, download the app. It's completely free. Okay, we'll move on from there. But my whole point was that focusing on our eating and changing our routine and working out has really helped us also in the business.
Yeah,
Would you agree?
Absolutely. I think that starting to, eat better, and then being more physically active instead of going home and just laying on the couch or just not doing anything for ourselves. I feel like we needed to find something that will help us kind of unwind and kind of like just shift our mindset away from all the stuff that goes on to the business and all the stressors. And I think that, definitely what we've been eating would affect that, like on our energy levels. So you eat a bunch of sugar, then you crash, and then you want more sugar, and then you just kind of start getting into this roller coaster of like energy and low energy and so forth.
Do you feel like it's helped our business?
I think so. I think...
I definitely feel like it has. I think we're a lot less stressed. I feel like even at work, I feel like we're able to like eat and not feel like so groggy afterwards, and we still have energy to kind of continue with the day. We've just started working more hours when before that was really difficult for us to do, or it was just like, I think our mood also has changed, and
feel better about ourselves.
I definitely feel like as a business owner, especially for me, like it's really hard sometimes to focus on being healthy because we have so much to do and so many things to think about. And, but it's crazy because it's kind of like this circle, right? Like the more stressed you are, the unhealthier you you can become if you're not dealing with it in the more appropriate way, or the healthier habits. But then once you kind of start creating better habits, the stress levels go down. Your mind is a little bit more focused. Your decision making is better. And I just think overall, in general, not only if you're a business owner, but like it does definitely transcend into your everyday life and how you go about it and the decisions that you make. So I definitely think creating better habits is...
Yeah, like the meal prepping, I would say that it eliminated one more choice to make throughout the day. Like, what are we going to eat?
Yeah.
I mean, no, this is what we have. This is what we can eat. Let's just get it in and move on. Rather than, we're going to have, what can we have? And usually it's fast food, or usually it's, not, there are very limited options that are healthy and satisfying. Yeah. Where you can just make them at home.
And speaking of the better habits in eating, I think that's really made me realize the importance of the work-life balance, which is something that I'm super passionate about. I think I talk about it all the time, because getting burnt out is one of the worst feelings ever. You lose motivation, you lose, kind of just that drive.
You would take that energy back home,
and
it was just at home, it would just be like a kind of drag.
Okay, I was
because we were just, there was no motivation to do anything else, because
exactly.
It's just like so
it
exhausted,
was like my
mentally
brain,
exhausted.
there
was nothing exciting to look forward to, or nothing that, and I've noticed it, it's been a few months now that you've been doing spinning.
Oh, so obsessed.
And so you do these classes in the evenings, and it's like you go home and now you're looking forward to something else, regardless of what happened at work and how overworked you were or whatever. It's like kind of, okay, now switching to something that is completely different, it's still enjoying, it's still challenging, and it's more of a physical thing, right? So I think that having those activities or those hobbies or doing something that, for some people, I guess it's like weightlifting. For some others,
for you it's jiu-jitsu, which is you've hurt your knees twice.
Well, it's worth it.
Yes.
It's worth it for the overall well-being
of you. Yes, I guess. What I want to say is that it's been an evolution, right? Like, it's not like we've gotten to this point. Like, we were going home at 3, which is ridiculous, honestly. But I think about it now, and it's like we were able to implement some processes, right, to make our system work, to make our company work and flow efficiently, which has helped us tremendously, because before that there was no way we could be leaving at 3. But I thought about, and we could talk about some of those strategies and things that that it could benefit people. I feel like we did hire somebody to kind of come in and help us with the processes.
I think that, and speaking of that, I feel and I see it in a lot of business owners who just kind of find themselves fearful of bringing in help or hiring somebody, which means another payroll, another expense. But, and I lived this and I went through this on my previous careers and in jobs or whatever, where it's kind of like, okay, well, should I hire somebody to help me? But then that's something, that's another expense that I'm going to have. It's going to be worth it. I think that if you're feeling to where you're overwhelmed, not overwhelmed, but if you're really burning out day to day, then that means that you probably need help.
It's time to grow.
It's time to grow. It's time to figure it out, how to delegate some of the responsibilities, and figuring out.
That's tough. It's tough. Like, I will tell you,
to put that trust
into somebody else.
Pass it along.
But it is so freeing as well. I started off by myself, and then I added an assistant, and then
another assistant,
and then another assistant, and then you came on board, and then we got Alex, and then we got Liz to come and help us. And I feel like it really does take a team. It's not easy to do everything. And now we're at a point where we're growing even more. And that's what I realized. And that's what I was going to say. That was my whole point, is that, like, yes, we were leaving at 3, and it sounds like, oh, wow, you left at 3. But at 3, my brain was done.
We were going 100% from 9 to 3 nonstop. No, like, lunch is just like grab a bite real quick and keep going.
And so that's also not sustainable. You know what I mean? And so this is an exciting time for us, because we did bring on 2 interns, which we love so far.
You're working out right so far.
She's listening. You're working out so far. And, hiring people to come and help us out, because honestly, it's a lot. It's a lot to take on for a small team. And I'm grateful to say that we are growing, and we're at that point where we're needing more help. And so to any business owners out there struggling, know that you can't do everything alone, and it's important to find the right team to help and to grow and to just create that life balance that we all need. Because I think in life, like I can tell you, for me, like I was going home and not having energy to deal with my own family, to deal with to have that energy to spend with quality time with you, or quality time with my mom or our nephews, and so it is important to create that work-life balance and get help, it just is so important.
Yeah. So and I think that, when you bring in the extra help, it allows you to now focus on other things that you probably have been kind of putting into the back burner. Mm-hmm. Like I know that one of the things that I've known of you since I met you is that you're very big on kind of style, and not just like personal style, but also like the decor and like designing, kind of like aesthetics. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I feel like now that we've been kind of, getting the extra help, I've seen you kind of dedicate more time to being creative with like different, what do you call it?
Draping.
When you drape or some of our clients.
Like the style that we give our clients. Being able to actually, that's a really good point.
Having a conversation with them now about, okay, this is what you should wear for the shoot. This is what, let's talk about that aspect of it. Yeah.
And we do help our clients in that. Like I feel like I'll rent clothes for them, or I'll drape them. And part of that, I think a lot of times, like before, it was just such a, it didn't flow, right? Because I was so mentally exhausted and drained. But now I feel like that's super exciting, because actually next week I'll be draping 2 people, one for a family shoot, and I'm really excited. I've already started creating the looks, and these are looks that I wouldn't normally have time to really create. And bringing that aspect into our photography and being able to advise our clients on that, I think is huge, because it's part of their personal branding. And that's actually what we're trying to do, is really being able to help our clients bring out that style.
And having the time to think about that, because like a lot of the times it was, know that you wouldn't do it and you were already doing it, but you were also having to kind of be creative in the marketing sense. You were having to be creative on, okay, what are we going to do with our social media, or what are we going to do with our marketing materials or the presentations we do to our clients. So thinking about all that, and then now having to switch over and now be creative on the photography space, on the styling space. It's or like you don't have just kind of bringing memory RAM to kind of be able to like run all these programs at the same time. So that's why it just kind of like being able to bring in other people has allowed to be more intentional and creative on the service that we actually provide, which is the photography and the capturing
of people authentically.
Authenticity. So
yeah, I love that. So I really enjoyed talking to you today. I thought that went really well.
Yeah, I think it went better than I expected. I truly don't. Okay, it's a little one.
Woo. Thank you guys for watching another episode of the BD Podcast, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.